What's up, all about the Birds Nation? It is another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. Let's get this shit show going. Go Birds!
Let's go.
Disconnect between the head coach and the GM.
Because
and when you have
Howie's vision.
no, Howie's a freaking moron. And there's a reason why.
Howie, you got a moron.
Are you ever gonna let me freaking talk? God damn, bro.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is another episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. I am your host, Eagle Jeff Warner, alongside my co-host, Peanut. We are powered by our friends at Manscape. Make sure you use our code AATBirds at manscape.com for 20% off and free shipping. Again, AATBirds.com, AATBirds at manscape.com for 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you.
Yes.
Look. Week 1, baby.
Week one is done and gone.
Week 1 is in the books. Hey, they say the first one is the toughest one, and for Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, they do get the 32-6 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. We'll dive into that in just a few moments. We'll also discuss later on. Eagles have a tough task this week. I know we're all high and mighty right now after starting the year 1-0, currently first place in the NFC East, but they do have a tough challenge as they host the San Francisco 49ers this coming Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field. So we'll give you our thoughts and our previews on that game a little bit later on. But first off, look,
Hey,
week 1,
1-0, baby.
it was an impressive victory, 32-6 over the Atlanta Falcons. Week 1, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' first game as a tandem on the road in a hostile environment like Atlanta, and they came out on top impressive. Peanut, your thoughts on the game?
We won the game decisively, and we probably should have because the Atlanta Falcons look like they're going to stink up the joint this year. I was impressed with the play calling. I was impressed with Jalen Hurts' poise in the pocket, his decision making. The young guys, Devontae Smith, catching that touchdown was great. I was also impressed with the defensive scheme adjustment because in the first quarter and half of the second quarter, they were just running it down our throats. And I like that Gannon was able to dial up some other defensive schemes to stop that. All around, I really can't complain about how that game went. The game went pretty well. A couple penalties here and there. I think we had, 14 penalties for like 89 yards, if I'm not mistaken. 14 for 89. So, I mean, stuff we can clear up. It's the first game of the season, and we also got to see the kind of offense that he wants to run, which is pretty.
I don't think that's the offense they're running.
You don't think so?
You look at this game, and I agree to most of your points. Look, Jalen Hurts, he had an impressive game. He was 27-35, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns with a QB rating of 26.4. He ran the offensive game plan effectively.
Okay.
I honestly do not feel that that's the game plan that Nick Sirianni is going to use week in and week out, because like Sirianni has brought up on numerous occasions this offseason that he's not sticking to one specific game plan.
Well, yeah.
He's evaluating tape. He is going to be looking at his opponents, recognizing their weaknesses, going to that game with a new game plan each week.
Game, so it's a different look every game.
Yeah, it's plays are running in practices, but now that's on film. Opposing defenses know how they look in that scheme. Yep. So Sirianni, he knew that their weakness on the Atlanta Falcons defense was their secondary, was their defense. They were not going to be able to keep up with the amount of speed that the Philadelphia Eagles put on that football field.
That's right.
And Jalen Hurts, he played it tremendously.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he had some flaws. There were a few times where he was pressured, he ran out of the pocket.
Yeah. At least he got rid of the ball.
He made smart decisions. I will give the dude credit. He didn't try to extend plays. He knew if there was nothing there, throw it away.
Yep.
But there was plenty of times on certain throws he showed the lack of arm accuracy when he's on the run a few times.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
At least the deep ball. There was that one pass down the sideline to Zach Ertz that Zach Ertz had the fall.
Wasn't even a catch, I don't think.
That he had the fall to grab it, and they called it a catch on the field.
Right.
Also, he has a tendency, which teams are going to pick up on. It was brought on PhiladelphiaEagles.com that Jalen Hurts has a tendency when he goes through his reads and can't find anything, or if he's under pressure, 9 times out of 10 he's rolling to his right because he's right-handed.
Yeah.
And opposing defenses and coordinators are going to game plan for that. They're going to spy him on the right side, knowing that he's going to roll out that way, and it's going to cause some problems. So I want to see how Jalen Hurts going forward, how he adjusts his game a little bit, how Nick Sirianni adjusts to the opponent's defensive scheme to try to, so that's not that doesn't come out and it's not designed for opponents to pick up on.
I got you. Yeah. So what you're saying is you're almost kind of poo-pooing on this one a little bit.
No, I'm not poo-pooing. I'm saying I feel that Eagles Nation is way too overhyped on this team right now.
100% agree.
A decisive victory, 32-6 in any game in the NFL, it's an impressive victory. But
we should have won that game.
There's certain things that you can still take away from this game that they need to improve upon. There's definitely still some, like you brought up the penalties. I see that as a big flaw because 14 penalties in a game. Yeah, that's a lack of discipline. That comes down to coaching, comes down to execution. Yeah, especially on the offense side, the amount of holding penalties we saw, some of the false starts we saw, those are drive killers. Yeah, we could have been blowing them out further. And granted, Atlanta Falcons, they're not a bad football team, but they're not a great football team. They had some firepower on that offense, and they kept them out of the end zone. Right, which is a tremendous feat for any NFL defense.
I agree.
And offensively, their defense isn't that great, and we ran up the field on them. Yeah. So there's definitely, like I brought up, there's definitely certain things that could have been better.
I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. The delay of game call, that those penalties really hurt you. If you think about it, those penalties can cost games. Look at what happened with the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Dallas Cowboys. Those penalties cost the Dallas Cowboys game.
Look at Thursday night with the Washington football team and the New York Giants. The Washington's kicker misses the field goal. Offsides. The Giants get called for an offside, gives them a first down, and then another shot at kicking the game-winning field goal, which he ended up doing.
Yes, thank you, by the way.
So now the New York Football Giants are 0-2 to start the season. Wow. And that's how pivotal this game is this coming week, which we'll get into.
Absolutely.
But looking at this game further, it was a great showing, and I want to know from you, Peanut, what do you feel that we have seen enough from Jalen Hurts after one game to
no, not
consider
at all.
him the franchise quarterback? Because some fans are already saying, look, he's our guy.
I mean, look, in a perfect world, that'd be great, but we need to see this guy with a tougher defense again. We need to see him go through the adversity of at least half a season to a whole season. How is he going to respond if he's having an off day, or what's going to happen in the fourth quarter if you're down and you need that 2-minute there's the one. I mean, we need to simmer down. Whether we win or lose, we always over exaggerate on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think honestly, if we just take a step back and let this thing play out a little bit, I think we'll get our answer by week 6, week 7, if this is truly going to be the guy moving forward with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I kind of think that's a little bit too early. I want to see a full season with Jalen Hurts, and I want to see how.
What if he lights it up? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But it depends against the competition. Look,
I got you.
This coming week, they're going against the 49ers, who are going to this game.
Solid defense.
No, they're banged up.
Oh, are they? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They're a good defense, but look, they're without their possibly their top their two top corners on their defense. Their one's out for the season. The other one's missed last week and missed practice most of this week. They're without one of their starting linebackers.
Okay.
So they're
running backs out too, right?
Their running backs out. So, and then the following week they're going up against the Dallas Cowboys, who are now without their best pass rusher, DeMarcus Lyons, for 6 to 8 weeks.
And Lyle Collins or whatever he's
so.
out.
So when he's gonna go up against what's out on that football field. I'm not slighting him.
But all
that.
those guys get paid. Look, I get what you're saying, and going against some soft defenses.
You still want to see a full season though. You can't anoint a guy the franchise quarterback after 4 or 5 games. You can have a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for?
Idea.
Yeah, I guess
generalization,
maybe whatever the word may be.
Someone get a thesaurus,
give a little bit of an idea of what you have going forward, but a lot can change. We thought Kevin Cobb was going to be the guy. We thought Carson Wentz was going to be the guy, and look how all of that has panned out. I'm still in the wait and see approach. One great game is a huge confidence booster, and I do expect Jalen Hurts to have a decent season this year. But I want to see that consistently through the season. Like you said, I want to see how he rebounds from maybe a bad performance. I want to see what he takes his psyche or his confidence level after he turns the ball over or coming back from a drive. But one thing is for sure, Jalen Hurts, this dude is a freaking leader. He goes out there and he rallies the coaches up. The team believes in him. The guys are rallying around him, and that drive right before halftime. As efficient as it comes, he managed that 2-minute drill so effectively. They got in the end zone and they knew they were getting the ball after halftime. They got a touchdown, and then they went for 2 after the offsides penalty.
What do you think about the going for it on 4th down as many times? I think twice they went for it. You think? All right. Well,
I'll say, look.
I think the analytics aspect of it. I mean, we need to give up, especially if we're in the lead. You know
where they were at, I understand where they were doing it because it's not like it's
the first one. The first one,
because you there's not much of a difference in field position. If you
miss it,
or you kick the field goal to too long, it's a little bit too long for your guy.
Gotcha.
Or if you're punting it, you're only gaining maybe possibly 20 yards of field position. So, what's the might as well just go for it, especially since this offense was having a field day against the Falcons defense moving that football.
I agree with you on that. So what is your biggest takeaway from Jalen Hurts as a quarterback for the first game of the season? Not overreacting or underreacting, but what was the one?
I said his leadership. His leadership quality. He showed that he can run this offense. He showed that he belongs as a starter. Now, like I said, I'm not ready to anoint him the guy for the future. I want to see how it goes the rest of the season. I want to see how he goes against top-tier competition like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to see what he can do if our defense doesn't have the performance that they have. And we have to get in a shootout. And again, he's only executing the offense that is given to him. I want to see some from Sirianni as well. It's still a wait and see, but it's definitely a start to a promising future, in my opinion.
I agree with you on that 100%. But I don't know. We'll see. I think this week's going to be a real test no matter what. I don't care who's banged up or what's banged up. I just feel like this team's going to be a little tougher than the team prior.
It's still going to be a test. And look,
defensively speaking too.
Well, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a challenge.
Absolutely.
But look, they started off hot last week. Jalen Hurts had a great game. Miles Sanders. Sorry, Tupi. I know you say he sucks, but he still had over 100 yards from scrimmage last week.
You heard him.
Averaging, I think, 5 or 6 yards a touch. So definitely off to a great start for Miles Sanders, and it was so refreshing to have a coach using Miles Sanders in the second half.
I agree.
I'm sorry, Doug. I know you brought us a Super Bowl, but the fact that you took one of your best playmakers on your offense out of your game plan,
it doesn't make sense now.
And of course, Sirianni was using him at the right time because the Philadelphia Eagles, they turned that Falcons team one-dimensional.
Absolutely.
After that first half, when the Falcons couldn't stop our offense, they basically eliminated Mike Davis from being a factor in that team, which helped them gratefully.
Gratefully.
you know the word. Tremendously, I'm sorry.
Tremendously.
Held them tremendously and allowed our defense to focus on getting pressure on Matt Ryan, which that offensive line, they could not stop our front four to save their life. I think the rookie, Mayfield,
he got baptized, bro.
The left guard, he was getting dominated by Javon Hargrave. So it's definitely a promising sight to see all around, offensively, defensively, special teams.
That punter, man.
Punter's been looking solid. He had a couple. He had a couple nice coffin corner kicks, pinning them deep.
Australians, they know how to make the ball bounce backwards for some reason. It's crazy.
But definitely the one grateful thing, and it's only one game. We'll see how it goes. But the fact that we finally might have a first-round pick that is finally producing.
Devontae, the Slim Reaper Smith. Yeah, that was
6 receptions, 71 yards, the big touchdown, the start the game, opening drive for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was a beauty. The connection that Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith have, that chemistry,
that could be dangerous.
It's going to be a force to be reckoned with this coming season for opposing defenses. And you look at the rest of the offense, and that was the one good thing about what Jalen Hurts did too. He wasn't eyeing one guy. He wasn't eyeing one read. No. He distributed that ball all around.
He spread it out.
He hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different receivers off his 27 receptions. Devontae Smith led with the 6 receptions, 71 yards in the TD. Jalen Reagor, 6 receptions, 49 yards in the touchdown. Dallas Goedert getting involved, 4 receptions for 42 yards in the TD. So he's having the chemistry with his weapons. He's distributing the ball very efficiently.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of bright points for Jalen Hurts. But like I said, the few things he can work on.
Which he will.
Exactly. It's practice.
Tune that shit up.
This is people seem to forget. This is the first game that the full first-team offense has worked together as a whole. They played 10 snaps in the first week of the preseason, which we didn't have Devontae Smith.
Right.
And then Jalen Hurts didn't play a single down the rest of the preseason.
Yeah.
So for everyone that was hating on
you,
I agree. I will eat a little crow for people that were hating on that they didn't get any preseason snaps.
Do they need it?
Do they need it? Maybe Sirianni was right.
Yeah, maybe he was. I like the way this team is trending, and you know what? I'm telling you, this dude Sirianni, he's a smart dude. Yeah, maybe they don't need preseasons. Maybe maybe look, we're not coaches, so they see this thing firsthand. So there we go. You ate your crow, and that's good. That makes me feel good because he usually doesn't eat crow.
Very much.
But yeah, man, Devontae Smith came for Jalen Reagor. He's starting to look like the first round pick that we picked last year. He seems to be speedier, faster.
And well, yeah, that's the thing with Sirianni with the game plan he was utilizing, those bubble screens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sirianni is going to try to do with this offense. He wants to get the speed, the ball, and get them in open field so they can get that yards after the catch. Move the chains, and then that's how you wear your opposing defenses down because they could not keep up with your speed. And then you saw in the second half they utilized that run game very effectively with Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Hurts have a couple RPO runs.
Yep.
And the one thing about Jalen Hurts, I know we're fearful of mobile quarterbacks because you put too much wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
For the most part, from Jalen Hurts, at least from what I saw in those stands, he was a guy that gave himself up or a guy that ran out of bounds. There was a few times he took a couple hits, but he's limiting the hits.
He's a smart cat.
When he runs off with the football, which is what you want from your mobile quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guy's an ox.
Yeah,
he's not a skinny like Mike Vick's kind of a smaller, skinnier frame. This guy's he's built like a linebacker. So for him to make smart decisions to slide, get out of bounds, he's gonna take some hits no matter what. That's that's football. You know what I'm saying? But the guy seems like a smart kid, and that sucks that I say kid because that really dates me. Because right. But he's a smart kid, and with Nick Sirianni calling the plays and you utilizing these guys' strengths, the pass actually set up the run. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say the run sets up the pass, but in this situation, the first half, the pass, the bubble screens, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that set up the second half running situation. So we'll see, man. We'll see what's going to happen. We'll see where we go from here, and we'll see if we're going to anoint Hurts, the quarterback for the future. My question is this.
What's that?
Based on what we've seen and we're not based on what we've seen in the first game with the players, the picks, do we kind of owe Howie a little bit of an apology?
Not yet.
I mean, are we
Not
kind of
yet.
inching? Like, if there's a are we
Not
kind of
yet.
inching? Like, if there's a gauge, is that gauge kind of moving towards like maybe Howie was right? Maybe Doug Peterson couldn't develop these players. Maybe some of these picks we have weren't developed properly. Because Jalen Reagor didn't look like a bust that game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Howie deserves a little. Not yet. You know, we're not going to jump there yet. We're going to get a meter.
Not
It's
yet.
going to be the Howie meter,
Not yet.
and it'll just move either or to the apology or non-apology. And by the end of the season, if there's if it's all the way gauged over, we'll throw a Howie appreciation show. How about that? You in?
Not yet.
Still? Come
Not
on.
yet. Look, you can't annoy and praise someone for one season.
Yeah, you can. I
If-
praise Howie when he won the Super Bowl. So did you?
That's a little bit different.
Okay.
You ended up with the ultimate goal of winning a championship. That is an accomplishment that deserves praise.
Okay. All right.
Maybe making the playoffs, the way the division is panning out right now.
Yeah.
I'll give him a little golf clap, but the job ain't done yet. The ultimate goal is once again to hoist that Vince Lombardi trophy. And until then,
Okay. So what a playoff run? No.
we've been to the playoffs. We consistently are a playoff team almost year in and year out. I want to see.
But the first year as Nick Sirianni as a coach,
We did it with Chip Kelly, and look what happened after that.
touche. Very, very, very true. Very true. Yeah, every time someone says Chip Kelly, it brings back like dark memories.
Hell, the winningest coach in franchise history didn't have his first victory till week 6.
Yeah,
when they put Donovan in.
that's true. That's true. The greatest quarterback in Eagles history, according to you.
Yeah, exactly.
According to you.
It's a fact.
but continue on.
But yeah, looking more at this game and just shifting gears to the defensive side of the football and bringing up your point. It was almost a doom and gloom type of game for Eagles fans. Being in that stadium, it did not feel like we should have been the ones to have a 15-6 lead at halftime for how much the Atlanta Falcons dominated that first half, controlling the clock, running the football. Mike Davis was tearing us up. Cordell Patterson with a couple big runs.
Yep.
So the fact that they were managing the clock, it was that old Jim Johnson mentality a little bit. That
bend but don't break.
Bend don't break mentality, which that's all you can ask for. And look, the defense did their job. They kept the Atlanta Falcons out of the end zone.
Right.
And one of those things that I noticed when I was there is the fact that there was a bunch of different schemes and a little bit designs that Jonathan Gannon was playing on that football field, and the fact that he was running a 3-4 scheme early on as much as he was, it just made me think like, look, utilize your defense to their strength. Your strength of that defense is your front four getting pressure, and the lack of linebackers and the lack of depth of linebackers you have on that defense, a lack of quality linebackers, and even the one you brought in, Eric Wilson, the dude can ball, but look. He was a guy that had 17 missed tackles last season, which I think was one of the top in the NFL. He had a big missed tackle in the game that gave them a big first down.
That was that whiff.
That continued the drive. So there's definitely a lack of preparation, and they still need some practice because all around in the secondary, the linebacking core, there was a lot of missed tackling, which is it's week 1. I understand there's going to be a little bit of hiccups and a little bit of a rust. So let's see how that progresses moving forward. But it was one of the things that I saw out of this game that they definitely need to work on. But like you brought up before, the adjustments in the second half, he saw what did not work in the first half, and he adjusted. Granted, the Eagles turned the Falcons one-dimensional. The fact that they went up 15-6 at half, they came back out of halftime, and I can't remember if it was the first or second drive, but they got another scoring touchdown. So it basically put the game almost out of reach for the Falcons. That basically knew
they should have though.
That they knew the clock wasn't on their side. They were going to become one-dimensional, and then Jonathan Gannon unleashed the beast with the front four, getting pressure on Matt Ryan, sacking him 3 times in the game.
And possibly they could have had a couple more sacks, but Ryan got out of there. But that defensive front was dangerous.
Yeah, say Javon Hargrave with 2 sacks, Hassan Ridgeway with a sack, a bunch of tackles for loss. They just had no answer from this front four, and it's very promising moving forward, especially this coming week against Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, who's been going to be utilized a little bit in their offensive scheme. Dak Prescott, who's a very mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
So once again, the strength of this team and the defense side of the ball is definitely going to come from the front four. They're going to live. They're going to have to live or die with the front four from a defensive standpoint, because our secondary, Slade did his part for the most part. Look, they gave us some yardage. Calvin Ridley had 5 receptions for 51 yards. Kyle Pitts actually held in check for the most part. 4 receptions for 31 yards. But the key reason they couldn't get beat deep and they weren't moving the football down the field effectively through the passing game was the defensive front getting their faces in Matt Ryan, getting Matt Ryan's face and not allowing him time to deliver the football.
I thought the Atlanta Falcons, when they first came out, were perfect in running a no huddle, high tempo offense. I don't know why they got out of that, but to bring a point up is when they were running that, and what I seen from Nick Sirianni was almost like a mirror image of what they gave us, we gave them. So as soon as we seen the high tempo no huddle offense, the first drive, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the same. It was high tempo no huddle. They should have kept to that, because that was literally throwing things off. We had defensive linemen on the field that were getting tired. I think a lot of the completions and the yards that came from that drive itself honestly came from that like up tempo offense. So I think
because you saw a lot of cover 2 defense from Gannon, and you saw the amount of cushion, that the respect that Gannon was giving Calvin Ridley and giving Russell Gage and giving Kyle Pitts. They were giving them a lot of cushion. There was plenty of times that you saw the Atlanta Falcons offense picking apart our zone coverage, picking apart our man-to-man coverage, because they saw the lack of press that the opposing cornerbacks in the secondary were giving them. So in their eyes, with those slant routes or the out routes, you saw the separation that they were giving you, and with the amount of speed that they were able to utilize it. And I agree with you. If the Atlanta Falcons stuck with that a little bit, who knows what the outcome could have been. But Jonathan Gannon adjusted his defensive scheme. He found what they were picking apart, which is something Jim Schwartz would not have done if he was still here. We would have still saw the same vanilla defense that Jim Schwartz was putting on that football field over the last 5-6 years.
I agree with you on that. I was impressed. It was refreshing to watch the defense reprogram themselves to deal with the situation, other than dealing with just getting smacked and smacked and smacked and smacked. So kudos to Gannon. The defense came to play. How about that? I think the play of the game that changed the offense that changed the way the defense was playing was when Graham laid the wood, bro. That hit, I think, changed, because everything up until that point was just boom, 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 boom. And then when he laid that wood, it was like the whole game changed from that point forward. It's almost like the defense played off of that play itself.
Yeah, but look, the team, they were definitely vibing off that crowd, because being in that stadium, I'm sorry.
It's like a home game.
I'm sorry, Atlanta sports fans are probably one of the worst in sports history.
You heard it here first.
Just for the fact that they do not support their teams. Look, week 1, NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, granted, I understand they're a 4-win football team last year.
So are we.
But there was no one in those stands. If you saw red, that was disgusting. If you saw red on your TV screen, it's because those were empty seats.
There was no one in those seats, right?
Most of the lower levels from the opposite section of me, they were empty seats. The upper levels were somewhat bare. It was a little bit more fuller because of the cheaper seats. But that stadium, probably maybe 3/4 of it were Eagles fans. That's why by the third quarter, you're hearing more cheers than boos when the Eagles were scoring. That's why you were hearing ELGLES chants. That's why you were hearing fans going ballistic at the end of that football game. And the fact that I went to a soccer game Friday and a baseball game Saturday to see the Braves and the Atlanta United. There were more fans at the Atlanta United game than there were for the NL East leading Braves on Saturday night.
Get the fuck out
I'm sorry,
of here.
Falcon or Atlanta fans, you are actually horrible when it comes to supporting your teams.
Yeah, fuck you.
I guess the Hawks, they somewhat sell out, but because they're a good football team.
Yeah.
You are freaking fair weather fans. So
Yeah.
I'm sure at the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl, I'm sure that place was sold out. The fact that it's week 1, you still have Matt Ryan, you have Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, an explosive offense.
Yeah.
And you don't even show up to your own freaking football team.
Shame on you, Atlanta.
Fucking horrible.
Shame on you.
Fucking horrible.
You know what? Let's talk about that. How was your experience going down to Atlanta? Were they tailgating? What was the atmosphere compared to what it was, how it is up here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, they were tailgating.
Okay,
for the fans that were there, and look,
was there like a section of like Eagles fans that kind of had their little section?
There was a little bit.
Cool.
We had a little pregame private tailgate session that came with our ticket package.
Cool.
So, and most of that, so by the Falcons, probably about 60% of that were Eagles fans.
Get the fuck out of here! Yeah, you guys suck, man.
Yeah,
shame on you. Shame on you, Falcons.
Yeah,
fans.
So overall, and I'll say most of the Falcon fans, they were pretty cool. They weren't giving us crap. I think they pretty much understood their team sucked.
And plus, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't give a shit. Fuck you guys. Nah, I'm playing. Apologies to all the Atlanta Falcon fans. All 3 of you guys. Continue on.
But look, yeah, the Eagles had a very decisive victory this past week, 32-6 over the Atlanta Falcons. 1-0, currently leaders in the NFC East.
This week.
But this week they have a tough challenge against the 1-0 San Francisco 49ers, who had a big victory over the Detroit Lions week 1. And
they almost lost that one, though.
Well, they almost lost because they took almost all their starters out.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was close, though.
They did. They pulled their starters, I think, a little bit after halftime when they were up by like 24 points or something on those lines, and their backups allowed them to come a little bit back in.
Yeah.
But look, this is a San Francisco 49ers team that they're no slouches. They're probably in the best division in all of football in the NFC West, where possibly all 4 teams, in my opinion,
are going to go to the playoffs.
Could make the playoffs.
I agree.
They have a quarterback in the making with Trey Lance, but they still have Jimmy Garoppolo, a guy that used to be working Bill Belichick, and a guy that took the 49ers to the Super Bowl just a few years ago.
Yeah.
They do have some offensive playmakers with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk.
Kittle,
one of the best tight ends in all of football.
He's a problem.
A defense that's led by Nick Bosa that can be basically a pass rushing force against our offensive line. So
Bosa's a problem.
This is going to be no cakewalk. And I understand that it's one of those teams that are coming from West East, which apparently the 49ers have been staying in West Virginia since last week because they don't want to worry about the travel.
Okay.
So they've been practicing in West Virginia. It's going to be a tough challenge. So, Pina, I want to hear your thoughts and tell me what maybe your keys to victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. What do they have to do this coming week against the San Francisco 49ers to come out with a victory?
Stick to the script. Whatever plays work, stick to the script. Just in order to beat a team like the 49ers, you have to play mistake-free football. You have to play if you hurting yourself will make you lose that game. That means no turnovers. That means low penalties. And that means just sticking to the script. If they play the way they played with Atlanta in the second half, if they play mistake-free football, we have a chance. The problem is if you give this team, the 49ers, if you give them something, they're going to take it, and that's how you're going to lose the game. So keys to winning the game, I'm going to say it one more time, stick to the script, no penalties, mistake-free football, and just ball out. You?
I agree, and the add on to that, I want to see more from Sirianni's game plan. Like I brought up earlier, I do not think we've seen what Sirianni has at his disposal from his offensive playbook.
Right.
I kind of felt last week he thought that bubble screen, it was working so much. It was one of those things where, if they're not stopping it, continue to do it. So because last week I want to see a little bit more from Jalen Hurts. I want to see the offensive line give him some time.
You want to see a 50-yard bomb.
I brought up last week on the show. I want to see them stretch the vertical passing. I want them to stretch the defense, especially the amount of speed that we have on this team. Last week they were going up against Atlanta Falcons secondary that's not very good.
Right.
This week they're going up against a banged up 49ers secondary.
Right.
So I'm not saying once again, and hey, Sirianni must have watched the show because I'm pretty sure like 8 of the first 10 plays last week were pass plays.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I said they were going to dink and dunk it, too, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, yeah, he did the bubble screen.
Yeah, listen, it was the first game of the season to ease the team in, so maybe we might see him open up a little bit. Maybe we see those out routes. Maybe we see those post routes.
Well, especially now, you have that connection with him and Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
You have Rager and Quez Watkins coming into their own.
Absolutely.
And look, this place is going to be rocking on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's the first full sold-out home opener in how long? Almost 2 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Like a year and a half?
Year and a half, I'm sorry, yep.
So, yeah, year and a half without a complete sold-out stadium at Lincoln Financial Field. That place is going to be on fire. I feel the team is going to vibe off of that, especially the amount of confidence they're coming into this game.
Yeah.
And they believe in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
they believe in Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, they do.
They're going to go out there and ball all out, in my opinion.
I agree.
And offensively, I feel it's going to come down to us attacking their weaknesses, which right now is their secondary. And I agree with you. They need to have. I need Jalen Hurts. I need that quick release because this is a dominant pass rush from the 49ers. They have Bosa.
Right.
They have Armstead. They have middle linebacker Fred Warner, who's no slouch in his own.
Right.
So I want to see Jalen Hurts go through his reads and deliver that ball quickly. Hit it in stride. Get those yards after the catch. Continue to move the chains. Wear down this defense that we saw last week, like they did against Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Because this is a team that if you allow them to stick around, they're going to come back.
I agree.
This is not the Atlanta Falcons last week. No disrespect to the Atlanta Falcons, but they are not a potential Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
And then on the defensive side of the football, they need to get after Jimmy. I know it's easier said than done. It's old cliche, but once again, get after Jimmy Garoppolo.
Hit him.
He is a statue back there.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he has the speed, he has some mobility, and you're going to see some designs and some game plan from Trey Lance, a guy that's a huge speedster. So they need to control him and spy him when he's out on that football field because he's a guy that can take it 0 to 60 in a second.
Yeah, but how many times did he drop back and actually pass the ball in that game?
It
wasn't much. I think it was more or less like QB sneaks and all that other.
Even so,
but be ready for it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You gotta be ready for it. They are without Raheem Mostert, which is a major loss. He's not an all-pro.
He's a bruiser, bro.
But he's definitely he's a big powered back, and they now have Elijah Mitchell, Jermichael Hasty, and Trey Sermon as their 3 running backs going into this game. Which don't tread lightly on them. They're still NFL players, and Elijah Mitchell, he can still be a guy that can be productive. Mr. 5'10", 200 pounds. Last week he had 19 rushes for 104 yards and a TD.
Damn.
So for a backup running back, when Monster got hurt, he still came out here and produced filling in for him.
Yeah, BG, just crack him. That'll change the whole game. Once you crack them,
but definitely the X factor, in my opinion, for this football game, you brought up his name earlier, is trying to control George Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle's a problem.
Look, I hate the people. I've been on a couple of shows this week, and there's a few guys that came that were posting comments and saying that George Kittle is not that much of a factor. He's not that much of a receiving threat.
I disagree.
That you're completely blind if you have any type of analysis or any type of opinion on George Kittle that involves that. Don't get me wrong; he's a solid blocking tight end with his big body frame, but he's not as athletic as Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
but he's still a guy that can cause havoc and that can make big plays in the pass game. He's probably top 3 tight end in the National Football League, in my opinion, behind Travis Kelce and maybe Darren Waller.
Yeah, I agree. And he doesn't go down easy.
He doesn't
go down easy. So if you're going to be missing tackles, this ain't the game for that.
And what this once again, this is a opposing this is an Eagles defense last season that constantly got torched by the tight end because of our linebacking play. And it's going to be interesting to see how Gannon tries to contain George Kittle. And that's the thing. I don't see them shutting down George Kittle.
Right.
I want them to contain George Kittle.
Right.
I want them to limit the big plays. If he gets his yards, if he gets a couple catches, gets his yards, okay. Yeah. As long as they're not giving up the big play, the 20-plus yard receptions, allowing the touchdowns.
Right.
Once again, bend, don't break mentality. If they give up some yardage, okay, but keep them out of the end zone or limit them to a field goal. That is one way to win football games. But the fact that the Eagles' linebacking core last week was not really contested too much because Matt Ryan not have much time to deliver the football. This week could be different.
Yeah.
They do have it. Look, it's an offensive line with a lot of names that people don't know about, but they're solid.
Decent.
They're a solid offensive line. They have Trent Williams, the former Washington football team member. They have Alex Mack at center, who's been a veteran here for in the National Football League for quite some time. They have some pieces along that offensive line that could cause some problems for our pass rush. And if they dilute our pass rush, I want to see Gannon mix it up a little bit because last week I don't know if it was just me. I did not see a lot of different blitz packages. I didn't exactly because our front four is playing so well.
Yeah,
and look, this was a defense last week that gave up a lot of yards on the ground. If it wasn't for them forcing and the Eagles offense putting up points and forcing the Falcons to become one-dimensional, who knows what the outcome could have been.
I agree.
This week could be a different story because Elijah Mitchell has shown he can be a force to be reckoned with, and he can be a productive running back in this league. So I need to see quality linebacking play in the run game and trying to control George Kittle because those are the two factors that can possibly wear and tear our defense and allow the 49ers to put up a crap load of points.
I definitely agree with you on that. 100%. And look, this is a good test before the Dallas Cowboy game too. This can be a gauge, win, lose, or draw. It's a gauge as to where this team could be heading. So, I agree with you.
Yes and no.
You don't think so?
I feel it depends on how they play.
I don't think the 49ers are better than the Dallas Cowboys for some reason. I really don't.
I do.
Really?
I feel the 49ers are a more complete team than the Dallas Cowboys. They don't have the quarterback. That's the problem right now. This team is more complete, or it's pretty much complete, minus the quarterback position. Granted, Jimmy Garoppolo,
give him time, he can pick you apart.
He's shown that he can be a leader. He can be a quarterback or starting quarterback in this league. He's just too inconsistent. But they have now Trey Lance in the fold, so we'll see how it pans out throughout the season.
Right.
But look, I'm not. I just don't want us to get too overhyped. I don't want us to try to buy into a possibly 2-0 start and consider us a Super Bowl contending team. Okay. Because look, we went against Atlanta Falcons team.
Last coach that went 2-0 won a Super Bowl, though, right? If I'm not mistaken, am I wrong on that one?
No, you're not wrong.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Crazier things have happened. But look, you faced the Atlanta Falcons team that. They have their weaknesses. They have their flaws. Yeah, it was on the road, and it was a very decisive win. I give the Eagles credit, but it was against a pretty bad, inferior competition.
Really bad.
It came against an inferior competition. This week, they're going against the 49ers team at home, another banged-up team. They have some pieces in place, but they're without their two top corners possibly. Their starting linebacker, and I think one of their defensive linemen's banged up. So they're a little bit banged up defensively. And you still have to worry about them. It all depends on how it pans out. So if we go 2-0, then we're going up against a Dallas Cowboys team on the road that are now without Larrell Collins.
Monday night, right?
They're without DeMarcus Lawrence. So I don't want us to I don't want us looking too far ahead and feeling that this team is ready to contend for a Super Bowl because he started the season 3-0.
No,
potentially. And don't get me wrong, look. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, especially looking at the Dallas Cowboys. At that point, they might be playing for their season at that point. They're going to be the more desperate football team, and I feel the Eagles, this is a pivotal game for both the Eagles and the 49ers. Yeah. Look, the 49ers are in a crowded NFC West, a team that all got victories last week, and they're all going to be fighting for playoff position within the division.
Facts.
So it's going to be a dog battle between those four teams.
Yeah, dogfight.
And the Eagles, look, they already have an 0-2 football team with the New York Football Giants losing to Washington Thursday night. So you have Washington 1-1, and you potentially have the Dallas Cowboys going 0-2 when they face Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
So look, the Eagles are eyeing this game and looking at it, and I just hope they don't look too far ahead.
Don't look past it.
Yeah, don't look past the 49ers. Look at the competition ahead of you, because I kind of feel they're going to be looking at this is a little bit of a pivotal game for them,
right?
Because they have an opportunity to separate themselves from the rest of the division.
Yeah,
and you want to get as much cushion as you can, especially once we get in the dog days of the season when you're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. You're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
You
both
have
losses, by
you
the way.
have a team that you against the New Orleans Saints that no one expected Jameis Winston to throw for freaking 5 touchdowns.
Yo, I'm telling you, his name is Jameis Instant. He's been eating them W's off his jersey for the last couple weeks. He looks great.
You're on the road against the Carolina Panthers, which got a big victory in week 1. So you have a lot of competition, and plus the rest of your divisional opponents at the end of the season. I think the 4 straight games with divisional opponents.
Yeah.
So look, it's too early to start already.
I like you say, don't look forward to it. He's already like at the last part of this season.
No. I'm telling you that just because we potentially are a 3-0 football team, I kind of feel it might be a false 3-0.
We might be 1-1.
We could
be 1-2.
Well, I'm basically eyeing for my prediction right now.
I got you. Okay. So all right.
And we do have the potential. Look, it's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be a battle between 2 of these teams.
Absolutely agree.
But in my opinion, just the confidence level, seeing Jalen Hurts run this offense last week, the fact that there's not a lot of game plan and not a lot of film on this team, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the early part of the season for these teams to try to game plan and try to pick apart and try to find the ways to stop this Eagles offense. Yeah. And the fact that we have so much offensive firepower and so much speed, I just do not see that 49ers defense be able to stop us offensively. Oh. I feel it's going to be a little bit of a shootout.
Okay.
Which, with the home crowd, the Eagles ultimately, the goals of the keys to victory, like you brought up earlier, is the turnover battle. We need to win the battle.
Yes.
We need to win the battle in the trenches, offensively and defensively, with our offensive line containing Nick Bosa and their front 4 and their front 7 with Fred Warner. We need to establish a decent running game early, in my opinion, because I want us to air out the football. But I'm not saying every play has to be a pass play. I want us to take shots. Yeah. I want us to keep our opposing defenses on edge, because
I agree
when you become a little bit too predictable, especially those double screens, the Falcons didn't find ways to stop it. But all teams have to do is play up the line of scrimmage. They need to jam them a little bit further, because if you're not gonna keep your opponents on edge with the possibility of throwing the deep ball,
that's the problem. I think they're afraid to jam these receivers because of the speed.
It could.
And I think that's why the bubble screen works. So they play off of that. So if you're going to play off of my receivers, I'm just going to dump it off. And if you play against my receivers, I'm going to throw it down.
Exactly. And I want Jalen Hurts, and I felt he did a little bit of this on Sunday. I want him to read defenses a little bit more. I want him to see what defenses are giving him, and is the play call correctly. Good. Yeah, there was times where he was audibling. Yeah, there was times where he read the defense very effectively. I just kind of feel I feel this is a better defense and a better pass rush, and I feel he's going to be running for his life a little bit more than he did last week, and I want to see how he's able to run under pressure or make plays under pressure. He had a couple nice throws last week under pressure. Right. There were a couple of bad throws under pressure. Right. And I want to see him be calm, cool, and collected in the pocket a little bit more, because I kind of felt there was too many times he was running too early. There's times he saw the pressure coming, and he basically escaped very quickly.
Well,
and his, don't get me wrong, his mobility, there were times extended the plays. You saw a little mini Donovan McNabb, and he stood a little bit big there and made some big throws. Yeah. But I kind of felt there were sometimes he was a little bit, when he was under duress, he left the pocket a little bit too soon.
I think he guys like Jalen Hurts, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, when there's this sixth sense that these quarterbacks have. So when the pressure's, and there was a couple times where he didn't even look at the guy that was rushing him, and you can almost see that he feels that the pressure's there. In his mind, he has this count 1, 2. So I think when he gets to that point where he needs to start running, the thing I liked about him was he didn't just run first. He's looking downfield.
Yeah,
he's pointing guys out. Like, so when he runs, and you're right, it's always to the right at that point. So if he ever runs to the left, he's obviously not going to throw the ball. But I like that he was looking downfield to make the play, and the touchdown with Goddard. Yep. I mean, the so-called touchdown. Well, let's be fair, that shit hit the ground. It's all good. Even so, it counted. It counted.
It didn't hit the ground. Sorry, it hit the ground, but the rule is if you have possession and you have
before it hits the ground.
Well, no, if you have your hands under it and you contain possession and contain control,
so touchdown.
The ball can technically hit the ground as long as the ball does not move.
Tell that to the 3 Atlanta fans that are fucking watching the show right now.
Yeah, they were bitching at the game. They were bitching at that, and the fact that the refs kept on calling offensive PIs on them for the pick plays they were doing.
But fuck. yeah, who cares? Anyways, him looking down the field, and the thing is like getting better every day. That's what they're trying to do. 1% better every day. So what you've seen in game one was you've seen a quarterback that felt pressure, escaped the pocket, and looked down the field to make the play.
Yep.
So I'm okay with him rolling out or extending a play. If you feel that pressure, which he did, and I'm telling you, there were moments where he just would run, and I'm like, he didn't even see the guy, but I think in his mind, he knew that was happening, and that's good football knowledge right there. So as long as he's trying to extend the play, and if you have to run the ball and be smart about it, throw the ball away when the play's not there. Smart plays will extend plays. So as long as he's making smart decisions, I'm okay with it. What I don't want to see are forced passes. What I don't want to see are intentional groundings, fumbles, or
bad decision making.
I don't want to see sacks. I mean, let's face it. There was a so-called quarterback. We will not mention his name because Chip said not to mention his name all season, I guess. But the same problems that he had in the prior team, we'll just call him the Philadelphia Beagles, and we'll call him Barson Wentz, has the same problem with a different team. Good offensive line looks like shit because of the quarterback play. So if Jalen Hurts extends plays and throws balls away and makes good decisions, the sky's the limit for this guy. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what we were talking about.
We were just talking about Jalen Hurts and the fact that I kept on saying he was running.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Outside too much. But I agree with you, and I hope Jalen Hurts continues the progression and continues to show that he can be a starter and possibly the franchise quarterback in this league. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him. I want him to be successful because that betters our organization and betters our franchise.
We got no choice.
I'm just not ready to anoint him that just yet.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of him. I want to see how he performs in better competition. Because remember, we look at. You see, people seem to forget after one game the Jalen Hurts we saw last year when he was thrown into the fire as the starter in Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
He showed some flashes, but he's shown that he was still a raw talent and he still needed time to develop.
Yeah.
Which I guess the offseason was very good to Jalen Hurts this offseason.
No, you know what? The offseason, Jalen Hurts worked his fucking butt off.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, holla at me.
So, Peanut, let's before we get out of here, I want your score prediction for Sunday's game. Maybe your player of the game, or how do you see this game panning out? Do you see the Eagles getting put back in their place? Do you see them continue the roll and going 2-0, going to a Week 3 matchup with the Dallas Cowboys?
I see this team being humbled a little bit. I see this team. Score prediction, I got them losing 27-24 in overtime. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a game filled with mistakes. I think it's going to be a game they're going to exploit our weaknesses, which is tackling in the secondary. I think the Eagles do a great job, but we come up short based off of inadequacies. I think close game, overtime, 27-24, San Francisco 49ers. That's it. I'm sorry, 1-1, and I already had them losing this game prior to it, and it was kind of hard even making this decision after week 1. But I didn't want to just go back on everything just because one game. You know what I'm saying? Because they still have those deficiencies, they still have those questions. Week 1 was great, but let's face it, we're gonna face a tougher team in the 49ers. I know it's at home. That's a real big plus, but I honestly, I want to – and then mind you, it can go either way. If we play mistake-free football, it'll flip the script and we won't be here. But I just feel like game 2 is going to be one of those wake-up calls where we wake up on Monday and we go, you know what, shit. 27-24, 49ers in overtime. That's my prediction.
I guess I have to be Mr. Optimistic. Look, I had this team going 9-8 to start the season. I had this game as a victory. So I'm going to stick with my guns. Look, the Eagles had an impressive win on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not saying it's going to be that type of shellacking again. Right. Look, the 49ers are a great football team. They have potential to cause some havoc and cause some problems for this Eagles team. And I agree with you. I feel it's going to be a little bit more of a sloppier game by the Eagles. I feel, that the 49ers offense is a lot better than the Atlanta Falcons offense,
Absolutely.
and I feel they're going to move the football a little more. They're going to get in the end zone. But I believe in Jalen Hurts right now. I believe in his leadership. I believe in his confidence level. I believe with him running what Sirianni's game plan is going to be. And with the lack of game tape with what Sirianni has shown so far as his head coach, besides the bubble screen, I feel is a little bit to our advantage. And I feel with the amount of speed and the lack of depth that the 49ers defense opposes with their secondary, and the fact that they're banged up at the cornerback position, and the faith in our healthy offensive line to contain Nick Bosa and try to find ways to limit their pass rush. And even so, we have a mobile quarterback. We don't have Carson Wentz anymore where he just stands there and tries to extend the play, and it can't. We have a guy that is elusive enough to extend plays in the pocket, extend plays down the football field, and still make plays with his arm. So I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more optimistic. The fact that this is at home, that place is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel the Eagles defense is going to cause one big mistake from Jimmy Garoppolo that's going to set up a big score for our offense, or maybe a defensive touchdown. Something's going to happen that's going to make a statement, and the Eagles are going to pull away late in the game. And I have them winning 27-24. Same score.
Shit.
I had them the same score, but I had the Eagles winning this game.
Now watch you win that way, because I predicted the Dallas Cowboys were going to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I was this close.
You were that close. If it wasn't for stupid Greg Zuerlein missing a field goal and an extra point, you could be talking about.
So maybe every time I predict the game, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Let's hope that's the case. I'll take it.
But look, any final thoughts before we get out here on Birds, Beers, and BS?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see this team. For the first time in a long time, I'm excited to see this team go into the fire. And I think you're right. You know, it's a different scheme, different coach, different quarterback.
It's a breath of fresh air.
It feels great.
Exactly.
Win, lose, or draw, it still feels good. You know what I'm saying?
And I kind of feel the fact that we're not putting high expectations on this team on ourselves.
We can enjoy it.
We can enjoy the games. We can sit back. Okay, if we lose, we don't have high expectations. Granted, I still want them to win, go to the playoffs. I still want them to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But we know that this team has weaknesses, and they're a couple pieces away from being in that position. So it allows us to sit back, enjoy what we have, and see the progression of our new head coach, of our new quarterback, and the rest of the young players on this football team.
I fucking agree.
Let's hope for an Eagles victory on Sunday. I just want to give a big shout out to my wife. Look, she allowed me to go to Atlanta this past week. It was a hell of a time, but she's the real winner in all this. She allowed me to go. She had to deal with dealing with a household, watching my child, taking care of her, still cooking, cleaning, doing everything to make her and Addie were okay. So
shout out Jenna.
I just want to give her a big shout out and my appreciation for allowing me to go enjoy time while you did all the hard work. So this was another great episode of Birds, Beers, and BS. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week, hopefully talking on Eagles victory and previewing the big Eagles-Dallas Cowboys NFC East matchup Monday Night Football. So we'll be back here again next week.
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank our sponsors, Manscape. Again, you can use our code AATBirds at manscape.com for 20% off and free shipping.
Yo cojones.
You can use our code at 99jersey.com, AATBirds at 99jersey.com for 10% off. And then, again, I thank you to our sponsors, Statement Games, Odds Jam. Our referral codes are in the description of the show. So if you want to check them out, you have a chance with Statement Games to win some gift cards, especially if fantasy football is back. The games are back, so make sure to check them out. And then Odds Jam, if you're looking to make a little bit of money, the fatten that wallet a little bit, they can help you try to make that happen. So again, oddsjam.com and also statementgames.com. So check them out. The referral links are in the description. And again, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. Hit that little plus button on all our platforms that gives you the notification to let us know when one of our shows go live. We have a lot of great programming here on the AT Sports Network. We had Chips and Dish on Monday. We had the AT Birds Weekly Report Wednesday. We have Birds, Beers, and BS on Friday. We have our Across the Pitch Soccer Show Thursdays. So a lot of great programming from all around the sports. for all the sports out there, as well as our website, AATSportsNetwork.com, for all the coverage all our writers are doing. They're doing a tremendous job. So make sure to continue to support us and check them out. And also make sure you're getting your AATBirds gear as well as your Birds, Beards, and BS gear.
Yeah, please.
AAT Sports Network /shop. Again, AAT Sports Network /shop. We have a lot of great designs up there as well. If you want Flash Peanuts, what was that design you made? Or
it's a big poop emoji, man.
Yeah, the big poop emoji.
Kids love that shit. Buy that shit for Christmas.
Yeah. So a lot of great designs that really help supports us. So
Yes,
again,
it does.
without yous, we would not be able to do this. And again, support our sponsors. Supporting our sponsors help support us. So
Yeah, hell yeah.
again,
Shout out Burning Bridges too. I'm a big fan of the show. If you guys haven't watched Burning Bridges, watch it, man.
I forgot about our new show with former NFL offensive lineman, former Eagle Jeremy Bridges, every Tuesday night, 10:30 on all our platforms live. Or if you missed it, go to our YouTube channel. All our shows are up there. Jeremy Bridges gives us his insight around the NFL and gives us his picks and breakdown of not just the Eagles, but all around the National Football League. So a great addition to our team and a great addition to the AT Sports Network.
Yeah,
so we
shout
really
out JB.
do.
That shit is funny.
We do really do appreciate him. So great show as always, Pina. Appreciate you coming on. I'm your host, Eagle Jeff Warner. Follow me on Twitter at Jeff Warner NFL. You can follow Pina at Hardy Doll Dave 1, even though he doesn't tweet.
Lies. I've just tweeted a couple times.
Oh, good job. You can also follow our sports networks at AATBirds and also AAT Sports _ That is the handle on Twitter. Yeah. And, of course, we're on Instagram as well. So, again, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the notification button. Do it all.
Hit the thumbs down. We don't give a shit.
Leave us a comment what you think of the program. We love hearing your feedback. If you want to hear your thoughts on the upcoming season, definitely want to hear your thoughts. So,
for sure.
Thank you for everyone tuning in. We'll be back next week once again here on Birds, Beards, and BS. And as we say here, Birds, Beards, and BS, drink them if you got them,
motherfuckers.
Attention, listeners across the galaxy. All the way from Australia to Houston, do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com. for 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds. Ready for an out-of-world experience, fellas? Look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped that has just taken off in not only the USA, but Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. First, scheduled for liftoff, new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even Uranus. This 4th generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch, can engage a travel lock, and is even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 4000K LED spotlight you can turn on and off when needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. It's like having a little astronaut to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Don't forget to use Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver to help your little planets be on their A-game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers, and the Shed Travel Bag. Abort hairy balls and Buzz Lightyear that Woody with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. For a clean trinity and beyond, your Spaceballs will thank you.